What's up, family? Thank you so much for tuning in to Chop It Up with Chi. It's me, Auntie Chi, and it's Talk About It Tuesday. And I'm going to try to make this a super quick video. Before I get started, let me say welcome um, to my returning supporters. And if you're new here, come inside, feel the vibe, join the Chee Tribe, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and leave a comment, all that good stuff. It'll be greatly appreciated. So as you can see by the thumbnail, I want to talk about my girl Luenell and Al B. Shore. Now, some people are saying that it's fake, it's not real, and all of that. But I'm a big Luenell fan. I love me some Luenell. And I follow her on Instagram, although I'm not on my main Instagram page right now. Just been taking a hiatus for personal reasons. Um, but I follow her page on Instagram. I follow her on YouTube or, anywhere. I just have loved her for years. And I bring that up because I have seen Albie Shore often over the past few years, like when she does her shows and they take pictures after the show. I'll see him there. I've always wondered, like, why is he always around her, But she's just cool people. And, I would see people like T.I., different people just come, support her and take pictures backstage and stuff. But I'll be sure has been coming around for a while, y'all. I've been seeing him on her page. So before I share my screenshots, I I am like all about the like the shirts with logos and stuff. I need to get a better setup because I wish y'all could just see my shirt. It says "Don't be salty." Don't be salty. Don't be salty because in this instance, don't be salty because you see one of the older girlies, one of the bigger. A microphone. These mics are so sensitive. You got to stay right up in it. And this one's kind of new, so I'm trying to get used to it. But I know, sometimes I want to lean back to just talk my issue, but I want to make sure that I don't have any audio issues. So, in this instance, don't be salty because he's 57, she's 66. And let me go on into the share. I am going to be talking about one other thing, well, two other things after this, but this is the main thing. So let me go on and share because I really don't want to be long. So which one do I want to start with? So this is the post that got the internet buzzing. Got the internet buzzing. She said this ain't a soft launch. Um, Hold on, my screen is just, what is this? What is going on? I'm kind of there we go. I couldn't see the whole screen, y'all, and I'm kind of rusty. I apologize for not, making any posts last week. I'm still doing remote learning. My granddaughter is up here with me while I'm working from home, and doing her remote learning because the frozen people are, they're still around, y'all. I know you might see, the news reporting that, they're leaving and everything like that. They've just kind of spread out and just kind of quieted down. They're still very much here. So still doing remote learning. I was just so wiped out, like mentally, wiped out. And I am a woman of a particular age and I need my rest, even though I work from home. Please don't think I'm just sitting around here doing nothing. Like, even just to get to do this video, like it's taking me hours just to set up the lighting. I'm still working on that. I need some ring lights, y'all. These are just lamps that I have giving me some light. But anyway, this is neither here nor there. I just apologize because I want to be consistent, even though I'm not monetized. I'm not really here to get monetized. I'm here to have fun, talk a little ish, and it just is what it is. It's just something that I like to do. And the news cycle has been happening so fast. I have so many screenshots and different things in my phone from the past couple of weeks. The news is happening faster than I can talk about it. Like whether it's entertainment news or the news. And to be honest, I don't even think I want to talk about that stuff because of all the censorship. And, they've already started suppressing stuff on TikTok, and I'm new on TikTok, and I'm just wondering how long it'll be before, they hit YouTube, and, this isn't even something we can do anymore. So anyway, back to my girl Luenell. She said, "This ain't a soft launch. This is me loved out loud in all caps. And if you confused, don't be. I'm good." Can I tell y'all how much I love this? I wanted to talk about this when I first saw it, but like I said, stuff going on, the news, and just tired. I wanted to come and record and I just couldn't. I mean, I just love this. Now, like I said, he's 57, she's 66. She said they've been together for a couple of years. And I believe that because, like I said, I've been seeing him showing up at her shows. And what I love about it is the way he shows up for her. I love that. I can't say nothing about the age because, I was dealing with someone quite a bit younger than me, off and on for the past 7 years or so. Well, since like, I would say 2019 is when we first, because I've known him for like 10 years. But you know, love is love. And he said that the reason that wait, I have more to share while I'm talking. The how they got together was because she was there for him when, y'all know if you don't know, he almost, wasn't here anymore. He was very sick, and he said she was there consistently showing up, you know, and just loving on him, pouring into him, you know, just hold on, y'all. I don't know what it's looking like for y'all, but my screen. Okay, there we go. This is just odd. I want to go to StreamYard because Zoom is cool, but I don't know. So anyway, these pictures look like love to me. I mean, I hope it's not a publicity stunt. I don't really think that it is because I mean, at, look at that. Look at how they look together. I just love it so much. That's why I had to wear my Don't Be Salty shirt because I'm like, you know, Al B can still, pull a baddie if he wanted to. At what traditional, what they would call a baddie today, he could still pull it. That's why this is just I don't even know what to say. I don't have no notes or anything, y'all, because this is just like had me giggling and smiling. You would think that I was the one in love right now. Because I just love this. I love this for her. And this is one of my favorites because I don't feel like you can fake that. When a woman looks up at a man like that and just look how he's looking at y'all, this is amazing to me because she is not what you would call a traditional beauty, but she is beautiful. She's a big, beautiful Black woman. And I don't even know what else to say because when I see them, I just get so happy. I get so happy. I just have a few more shots to share. I don't have a whole lot to say. Um, so this is from he showed up for her on Valentine's Day. And I mean, ladies, we know that for us, like showing up is everything. And like she said, he's loving her out loud. And, we don't know if he had to go through his own process being who he is and, the types of women that he's dated in the past. Um, I'm not saying that he's shallow. I don't know. We're just speculating. We don't know these people in real life. But, what I respect so much about Luenell is just being able to just be cool with what it was, just keep it private, enjoy what they had, we're doing behind the scenes, let people wonder and think what they want. And, and then when he was ready, I'm guessing it was when he was ready. Um, they just came on out with it, and I'm here for all of it. I just absolutely love it. And we live in a world that is very visual, kind of superficial. We all have a type. Most of us have a type, you know. But I just feel like sometimes, especially in the celebrity world, you know, they can give what we would call a permission structure to make it, I guess, okay to say, love who you love, don't worry about what people look like. And I think that Luenell is the bomb. I love her outfits, her signature short platinum blonde hair. I love her realness. She has shared her story, how, just how she came up, the things that she's done. She's talked about, being a working girl, if you know what I mean, back in the day. I mean, she talked about just everything that she's done. And I just love this. And look at Al B. He still look good. He still looks good. Like, I just love it, y'all. I'm probably just saying the same thing over and over. But I do have one more, I think, where he showed up for her. And they just look like they're in love to me. I think it's real, y'all. I think it's real and I love it. And like I say, I hope, because I want to say this: Luenell's husband, her ex-husband, passed away either last year or the year before that, and she shared some beautiful things about him on Instagram. They were divorced but had been together. He was traveling with her. Nobody even knew that, 'cause she's private, and I love that because I'm very private about, my personal life too. And her husband was fine. That was a good looking man. And I just want to say that, people think that big girls can't get fine men. I've had some very fine men, and I've had some men that just, maybe are not fine, but I try not to be shallow. And, you know, I've been with different types. Um, but I've had some very attractive, very sexy men that I've been in long-term relationships with, that have ended for a myriad of reasons. So even my person that I've been dealing with all this time, I consider him to be fine, tall, chocolate, and my dearly departed was fine, high yellow, light skin, tall. He was fine, So don't sleep on the big girlies, honey, because we could pull a fine man. Like, people will say, oh, she's just paying him, or, crazy stuff like that. They think, oh, you're a sugar mama, and stuff like that. And no, that is not the case. So way to go, Al B. Loving my girl Luenell out loud. I am so here for it. So moving on, and I hope I don't get my snippets mixed up, y'all, because I will do that in a minute. So let me see. I think this is the right one. Let's see when I get it up here. Nope. I'm not ready to talk about Jesse yet. Not yet. I'm saving that for the end. Um, I hope I have them all up here, y'all. Um, because like I say, I get them mixed up. I get my snippets mixed up. Let me see. Okay, this the one. Okay, so I'm gonna turn my camera off so I can read this, y'all, because it's too far away and I'm gonna have to lead it. Wait, can I make it bigger? No. Okay, so let me turn my camera off. So what this is a post that I saw on somebody's page when I was scrolling. I'm on Facebook, but only just to keep up with, what's going on in the world, because I'm really not on Facebook like that right now. But I realized that I need to have one of my Facebooks open so I can, you know, keep up what's going on in the world. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to read it off my phone, y'all. I'm sorry. Just bear with me a moment. Talk amongst yourselves. Just give me one quick second. And there's a reason why I wanted to talk about this because it resonates with me. So it says, if you missed it, K Michelle recently opened up in interviews about her marriage and baby. And when I say she shook the table, she flipped it. She revealed that her and her husband do not live together at all. He stays at his house, she stays at hers. They keep their money separate and they come together for what she calls quality time. She basically says she's not to be about to be under no grown man 24/7, period. Uh, and so then they said some things that she's always been vocal about. Um, and then she says some people online are calling it genius, saying keep the love, keep the mystery, avoid petty arguments. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and this is how you perfect the romance. And then I have one other one, and then I'm going to add my comments because, like I said, this resonates with me. I can relate to this, and I'm going to explain why. Okay, hold on. I don't know why my screen shares are like overlapping on each other. It's kind of weird. I only have a few more, y'all. Thank you for bearing with me. If you're still with me, can go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're still here. I do have 3 new subscribers, so I appreciate that very much. Um, Let me see here. Um, Come on now. Where's my this is not what I'm trying to share. All right, y'all. Hold on. Let me see. Let's try this again. Um, this is so weird. I don't know if it's displaying right for y'all, but it says marriage does not have to look the same for everybody. Some couples thrive in traditional setups, others need space to stay sane, especially to adults who are established, financially independent, and used to running their own households. So, here's what I have to say about that. Let me see if I can get myself back on camera. So here's what I have to say about that. I will never give up on love, even though I'm not really interested in being in a relationship right now. But if I were to miraculously meet someone who, um, I wanted to be with or be in relationship with, I definitely could do something like this. Now, I don't even want to be married anymore. Um, I just don't. And I'm not gonna bore y'all with why. I don't. But for a very long time, I did. Even after my dearly departed passed away, I was like, well, maybe, again one day. But that doesn't mean that I don't, even though I'm not looking for it, if the right person presented themselves, I could be in relationship. But if the only way I could live with a man again is if we had separate rooms. Now, that might sound crazy. And I remember back in the day, my dad's sister, um, her and her husband had separate bedrooms. And, back in the old days, that was kind of a common thing. And even in the bedroom that they used to share together, they had 2 separate beds, like you would see on the old black and white shows. Um, and I used to think that was so weird, like if you're in love, like why wouldn't you want to sleep with your partner? But aside from me just really, really, really deeply appreciating my own space now, I don't like for anybody to want something I can't stand is for a man to come in my house and ask me why I do anything a certain way. Why do you have this over here like this? Why do you put this like this? Or, why do you anything like to do with how I do things in my home or whatever? Because the answer is because I want to. and I'm super grown. I don't need a dad. If I have a lover, you're my lover. You're not my father. Okay. I don't need you to re-raise me. So aside from that, aside from being set in my ways and not wanting to answer to anybody about why I do anything the way that I do it, um, to be real with you, now that I have gone through menopause and my body chemistry has changed, I sweat so much, even post menopause. Why didn't anybody tell me that, it doesn't necessarily stop the sweating and the hot flash and all that? I mean, I feel like a crazy person, going through the day. Like I can literally be like super hot, like where I'm sitting right now. This is also, I have my workstation and I have my personal station here. I have a long table. I got a printer over here. It's a lot going on right here. Too much right now. It needs to be cleaned off. I'm like, does it reflect through my glasses? Because there's so much stuff right here. But so there's a window right there because I move things around because my desk used to be on the other side of the wall. So sometimes I come in here and I sit down and I'm just hot. So I crack the window. And, it's winter time. It's not super cold, but it's winter time. And, then I'll be freezing, and it's just crazy. So I can totally understand separate beds, even separate homes at this stage in my life. About keeping the money separate, I think that's kind of weird, because I think that we should be helping each other or doing things together or building together. So I don't know if, I mean, I don't know how, I wouldn't necessarily want to do that. I could understand having like a joint account and then we each have our own separate account. In my first marriage, I actually ended up in my pastor's office about having a separate account, um, because my husband he wasn't good with money. He was not good with money. And so I learned early on that I had to keep a little bit aside. And so something happened one time and he didn't have the money for what was needed. And I was like, don't worry about it. I got it. And then he got a whole attitude about it. And we had a big argument about it. And he started throwing up in my face about, I wonder what your pastor would say about this and that, and blah, blah, blah. Cause I was the one that was the holy roller. He would come to church, but I was the holy roller. And I was like, okay, well, I wonder what he would say. And so we had a whole meeting about that. Um, but I think that it's smart to have a joint account and then have your own separate account so you can do what you want when you want. So anyway, I'm not mad at her for that. Like I think that you have to have a certain level of maturity to do that and you have to be secure in who you are. And a lot of people today are just not like, they're with people that they don't trust, and they feel like they need to check on them and check their phones and have cameras on them. I'm trying to tell you, I'm not doing none of that because if you're doing me wrong, it's going to come to light eventually, and I don't have time to babysit a grown person. And if I mistrust you that much, I'm not going to be with you because you're messing with my peace of mind. So, anyway, I found out this morning that the Reverend Jesse Jackson passed away. I believe he passed away last night. Um, but I wanted to just take a moment to talk about him. Again, I don't know how this is showing up for y'all because it looks super crazy on my screen. So I'm sorry if it's not. Let me see. Hold on a second. This is crazy. Okay. So it says civil rights activist and Reverend Jesse Jackson has passed away. Jackson made an appearance on Sesame Street in the early 70s where he recited three of his poems. Thank you for showing so many kids that no matter what anybody says, they are somebody. And I picked this one because this is the Jesse Jackson that I grew up with in Chicago. Jesse Jackson and Muhammad Ali were like our idols, our icons, because they were like the role models that showed us and taught us to be proud to be Black and not to feel like we were less than because we're Black. And, we all would recite one of his signature uh, sayings was, I am somebody. I am somebody, and that was part of one of his poems, as it said there. But that was just, something that just stuck with us as kids, I am somebody. I am somebody. And, you know, you may have heard things about him, infidelities and different things, or about his son. And even, Martin Luther King, who's pictured there with him. And I'm just the kind of person I feel like, what does a person's imperfections have to do with the great things that they accomplished? And so nobody's perfect, I mean, we can look at our current administration and see, you don't have to be perfect. So, it's like we're so hard on the few leaders that we have, while other groups support, you know, down to the ground, regardless of what, you know, the infractions are. So this was from it says BET remembers. I can't see the top, it's cutting it off for me. But I just, like the different pictures, showing him at different stages in his life. And again, this is the upper left photo. That's the Jesse Jackson that I grew up with as a little girl in Chicago. And so they said, we salute your life. We thank you for your sacrifice. We carry your mission forward. Rest in power. Reverend Jesse Jackson, your work is finished, but your impact is forever. And I like the little black fist because that's what we grew up with, that black power fist and everything, or the Afro pick fist. So I had to take a moment to speak on him and honor him. He was sick for a lot of the last years of his life. They had diagnosed him with Parkinson's, and he was in a wheelchair and everything. But I feel like he lived a full life. Get into your 80s. I think your quality of life, is kind of when I would imagine, you kind of get tired if you're just here existing. So I want to end with this. It says, no one should negotiate their dreams. Dreams must be free to flee and fly high. No government, no legislature has a right to limit your dreams. You should never agree to surrender your dreams. And that was a quote from Jesse. So, like I said, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that button. If you stayed with me through the video, I do appreciate you. I appreciate a review. Don't get many likes, but I don't know if that's because my content is being suppressed, um, or what the case may be. But I'm just glad that I was able to get something out. I think I'm gonna stop saying I'm gonna be back on this day, I'm gonna be back on that day, because as soon as I do, then I don't. So just know that I'm still in the mindset of being consistent. I'm gonna try and do something different, like on Tuesdays, just hot topics and updates, entertainment news, I'm really gonna try and stay away from all the heavy stuff that's going on because for one thing, they won't let you see it anyway. You know what I mean? They won't let you see it. I'm thinking about checking out this Substack thing, but I don't know. All of these apps and different things, I'm just like so over it. Oh, I forgot to show y'all. I got my nails done again. I don't know how that's gonna show. The light looks too bright. But what I really wanted to tell y'all is these are my nails. These are not tips. Like when I went the first time on my birthday, I just got what they call an overlay, and that's just where they put acrylic over your actual nail. My nails grow really fast, so they're quite long. Maybe it'll look better on the on this over here. Let me see. I don't know. Trying to get it on the black. It's black. The anyway, y'all. I'm about to go. Get ready for bed. But I love you for watching. And I'll see you next time here on Chop It Up with Tea. And don't forget, don't be salty.